Alright, so this VOD review is for my off-tank player who's sitting around 4.2, 4.3 right now. Um, his name is Andrew in game underneath KT Panthers. This is his high school team. They're playing a tournament. I don't remember the tournament name. Um, but yeah, it's some league that has like 13 or 14 states in it or something. I don't remember what he said. But we'll be going over this. I think he mostly plays Zarya and Diva. Plays a little bit hamster, but then it was really shitty. So, um, yeah. Um, all right, let's start.
More strong comps in the meta at the moment. And when it comes to
Also,
Goats to Goats,
it's
often it
from
comes
someone else's
to
POV, so
kind of
it's like the
who plays the
tournament's
aggressive
POV. So anyone who's
playstyle
watching
and who
this,
can really initiate and get that
you know.
target focus down really quick.
And Andrew,
So
it's hard
hopefully
for
we'll have a
me
pretty
to
good brawl here on Route 26 on first
look
plane
at a
as we
lot of
head to
like
this first match of the
DM
national
usage or
finals.
bubble usage. It's harder
Yeah,
for
the
me to do it
Green
from
Knights
these sorts of
starting on the
POVs.
offense here.
So
We'll
I'll do
have
my
to see their
best, but
offense in the semifinals.
I won't be
Very
able to roast you as hard.
decisive, very strong. It started with a good initial push, Dell. What do they need to do to get that against a Goats comp?
They just need to get the ult advantage, get Zarya high charge, and then hopefully snowball that ult advantage into convincingly clean fights like we saw in that semi.
So Andrew, I know we've talked about this a lot, but you should be scouting here, right? So bridge on the pillar, this high ground, anything like that, because it's fine if you guys are playing here, it's good. But if they push the cart up to here and you guys don't know what they have, right? That's where they're almost at, and you guys are just seeing what they have now. Um, you need to know the earlier that your team knows what comp they're running, the better you can plan accordingly for it, right? So you need to be up here scouting and be like, hey, they have goats. And then you guys can make a plan, be like, okay, as soon as they hit here, we're gonna drop and fight on them. Or whatever you guys want your plan to be.
And Nova already dropping down maybe a little bit unintentionally there for the Panthers, but they're wanting to push, they're wanting to contest this before it can make the first turn, and we're going to see a tight formation here from the Panthers. Haru jumping in there, trying to get the damage, is going to get taken down first. Nova picks up the first kill, and is just chasing down, getting the DMEC onto Live Memory, taking him down, and the Panthers starting to run through. They put their horns down, Dell.
They did indeed, and one of the things you have to remember with Goats is once you get that ult advantage going, like we see in the difference in charge in Zarya and Reinhardt, it's going to be very, very hard to get that game back. So what we need to see is a very decisive attack here, and maybe get a pick on Zenyatta or
And one of the things that we can look for from the Green Knights, though, their ult patience in the semifinals was outstanding. If
I'm just gonna take a look at my notes. Right, okay. Um, yeah. So, Andrew, so going into this game, as soon as you recognize that they're like a lot weaker team than you are, because they are, and like no shade thrown or anything, but like they are a weaker team than you guys. Um, and if someone's watching this, you'll see like throughout the series, as that's pretty obvious. Um, so you need to take advantage of that. Like you need to recognize that you guys are a better team and you can build your ult faster, um, and put more pressure on them from like different angles and things, and do things that you wouldn't be able to do against better teams. Um, like play more aggressive where this diva is playing and get all charge as they're trying to walk around this corner. So I'm not I'm not trying to encourage bad habits against better teams, but I'm saying that you should recognize when you can take advantage of weaker teams or when they have a weakness. Like being able to recognize their weakness and exploit it is very important. So you can use that to help build your ult faster and to distract them more. Attention is a resource. So if you're drawing two people, forcing two or three people to look at you up here, then there's less attention going to your Rein, who's going to be able to put more pressure on their Reinhardt. So
they can make up this
just some
difference,
stuff to think
they
about.
still have a lot of tools to work
Good
with.
contest.
But the Panthers are waiting for this. They want to keep this fight. Nova has the Earthshire, and it is massive to start. It is 4 down, and everyone falling from that. 5 kills before you can blink an eye. Monk falls as well, and that will be a team wipe.
Team have one ultimate. That's the danger of Goats here, because now as we see, we have Eclipse and Andrew both with ultimates coming online very, very soon. And that's something where if it's properly set up with a grab diva bomb, it's almost impossible not to get.
Yeah, and you look at what the Green Knights have to work with on the other side. Now, it's not much. Those ult charges are getting there, but maybe not enough to stop
Alright, should be
this
communicating with
two or
your
three ult barrage
Zarya,
that
try to
may
get a
come through.
grab bomb
Nova's
combo
taking a
off.
lot
Think
of
it gets
damage.
eaten
Monk
though.
is getting close to Transcendence.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if it goes down. There's the Transcendence. Diva bombs are flying. Is it going to get anything? Andrew picks.
I seriously, like, I've watched this clip so many times. I've watched these games so many times. I don't know how you got some of these bombs. Like, their Ryan just sort of like doesn't understand that he can move his shield sometimes. Might sound super mean, but he just sort of like stood there watching the bomb, like wasn't even looking at the bomb this time, and there were a couple other times too. And again, not trying to be mean to him, but I would really be interested in like what he was thinking.
Andrew picks up Haru and Dunless with that, and that is the Panthers saying we can go. Live Memory's gonna get demeched, is gonna get staggered just a little bit, falling off the end there, but once again, Dell, only 2 ults used.
2 ults used, and you have to remember that was with a grab eat as well. The Transcendence was popped from Monk, and it just didn't find all it needed because of a very nice diva bomb from Andrew. But this is do or die for the attacking team here. We are need to see these Green Knights show up. Haru needs to get a big graviton.
Yeah, and they're gonna go for it. The Brigitte ults both come out. Who is gonna get the key ultimate here? Haru is charging up, does have that graviton if they can look for it. There's the graviton. It's gonna get a few, but there's the Transcendence to try and capitalize on it. The diva bomb comes through, does not get anything for Live Memory, and that should
Good job
be
turning
enough to
around,
repel this attack.
reacting to Diva.
With Mr. McDouble and Nova both falling, Dunless still has Shatter. He's gonna use it just to wear out the graviton as
Yeah,
well as pick up
this
Eclipse, and the Green
very
Knights they'll
sloppy.
finally
really on
maybe
your
get a
part,
fight
though.
they're wanting for. Is Andrew trying to just stay on point, get delayed,
Good
is
job.
going to get demeched, is going to get taken out,
Yeah, you
and with
should
a
be dying
minute
on
on the
point.
clock, the
Your
payload
supports are
starts
really
moving.
slow rotating out. That's on them.
And a minute is kind of, you know,
Like,
we saw almost a 3-minute
if
hold
this was
there
a better
just
team,
on
they would be
one
dead.
fight alone,
They
and
either need to
that's
die
kind
on
of the
card
power
with
of
you or
Ghosts.
get out sooner.
So hopefully we can see the
they're
attacking
lucky
team here with
this
the
team
Green
isn't
Knights
that
snowball
great.
their advantage that they have in the form of Zarya charge and hopefully better position.
Yeah, you mentioned that Zarya charge. Haru at 76% compared to Eclipse's 10.
So I want to talk about something that I haven't talked to the team about it because I always seem to forget about it when it is relevant. But it's something I just want to bring up. So after you've lost a fight and you're trying to retake space through some chokes, like King's Row, last point, if you're trying to come through like one of the doors on your spawn, if you're trying to come through up here, down here, or over here, and this just by the sign. If you think Zarya has grav or she's close to it, obviously like, you can eat it and you can try to predict that. But you should also be trying to have one person come out one other choke. So if your team's going up here, then have someone else come out here, right? So that can be Diva or Lucio are kind of like Diva is one of the better ones, because she's tankier and has that mobility. But it can also be Zarya, Lucio, you know. So something for you to think about, especially if you believe that they have grav. They don't quite have it yet, so you're fine. But I wanted to bring it up and bring it to your attention. It is important to split chokes if you think they have grav.
And that could be key here. Is they're going to fight to hold this first point with 35 seconds left. The Panthers feel like they can take this. Andrew's going to go in with the diva bomb. Is not going to find anything. Haru does fall though.
That's a good bomb. I'm okay with that bomb. Right?
Feel like they can take this.
Over the top.
Andrew's going to go in.
Use bubbles. You're forcing both Brig and Ryan to turn around from your front line. And I believe you get the Zarya off of it, because I think Zarya is under here right now. And somehow she dies, I don't remember. Let's see, Zarya's there. Just go behind the sign.
To hold this first point with 35 seconds left. The Panthers feel like they can take this. Andrew's going to go in with the diva bomb.
Okay.
Is not going to find anything.
So
Haru does
that's
fall
okay,
though from the distraction. And that is a Zarya with graviton out of the fight. And the Green Knights are just being pushed back. 20 seconds to go. They have to just keep people alive. Haru's.
So something I also want to bring up is if you melee someone before they go off a cliff. Okay, so if you booster them off a cliff, you'll get the kill credit, right? So you'll help build your ult charge. But if they jump right before they if you do a CC ability, so things like boop, whip shot, boosters, and push someone off a cliff, you'll get kill credit for it. But if someone jumps off, like if you boop them, but then they jump as soon as like right before they fall off, then that won't affect them. But if you melee them while they're falling, so after they've jumped, you will still get kill credit for it because melees are weird like that, and it's they count as because they kind of move the character to whoever you're hitting. So it's almost like CC, not technically, but it still counts towards the kill credit and can still give you the environmental kill. So um, something you can do there. I don't know if the D.Va was in range of you because you tried to boost her after to get the kill, but you didn't, or she jumped at the end. So you didn't get it with the boosters, so maybe you were in range for melee, so I'm just going to suggest that. Something to look into. If anyone didn't know that, now you do.
Who's back in the fight, but Live Memory going down as well. Rivsy's gonna use that Brigitte ultimate, try and push them forward. 10 seconds left. They have to get to the payload here, Dell. It is so far away from them right now. Transcendence propped immediately so they can get forward.
Good read.
Haru trying to use Graviton, but isn't gonna get anything. Overtime's ticking down.
Yeah, okay. This Zen should die. I don't think he died soon enough. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So you need to be screaming at your team because this Zen is way out of position and he needs to die, right? You guys have your trance up, so there's not really anything that's gonna kill you, but he needs to die. I don't think he does. And I don't know if anyone else turns around to shoot him. You might be the only one that sees him there or is paying attention to him. But you need to scream at your team because that Zen needs to die. Like they're all so out of position, but Zen is the most
They
out of
are on
position.
the point,
He
but
needs to die
Nova
soon.
not quite able to find too much with that.
Yeah,
Ursh
he gets out. Rotates through gas station, gets out. Yep. So he should not live there.
Ults dueling here, no big casualties coming yet. Spaghetti with a beautifully timed beat, but it does not get to Dunless, and the fight's just continuing on.
Alright. So, yes, another big bomb.
Beautifully timed beat, but it.
Okay. So, it's a good bomb, and I'm alright with this bomb. But, you landed right in front of a D.Va and a Brig. Right? So, to make this a little bit safer, you need to try to land onto here, or if you want to try to land over here, that's further away, but, you know, the idea is land on one of the high grounds to keep yourself safe. I think it's a 5v6 right now, yeah? Yeah, alright. So you guys are still, like it's still up in the air a little bit, especially since your Zen's about to die, and you just bombed. So if they kill you, and then the Brig shields it or whatever, this is still winnable for them. So you need to make sure that you're not gonna die by landing on this high ground. Or this one if you want, but this one, because it's closer preferably.
But it does not get to Dunless,
Right,
and the
'cause you
fight's
just end
just
up falling
continuing
down there.
on to the point. A huge
Like a bomb.
3K D.Va bomb from Andrew might be enough
It's a
to
very
turn
nitpicky
this
thing,
fight
but
here.
it's
As only
important.
2 members of the Green Knights remaining on the payload. It's only this Lucio standing between the Panthers and a near full hold Dell, and that's not going to be enough. 0 for the Green Knights.
Not enough indeed, but one of the things that you have to watch there is
Yeah,
that
this photo is
the
probably gonna
both
be a little bit
Divas got
quicker since, again, it's
but it's
not from
absolutely
Andrew's
crucial
POV,
Yeah, and you can see 70, almost
less
73
stuff,
meters.
and the
The
maps are kinda
result
short,
of their
so.
offense. That's
are those very clean.
was playing well. Jeff Woods wasn't called on for clutch transcendences because it wasn't really necessary, but the transcendents that came out were still good. Arkham Knight still had a good Lucio game. They do switch it around though here. Andrew quickly jumping on to the Hanzo just to try and get a result of where the Green Knights are located. They're going to come up from the cliff, drop down on top of them. This is their chance to maybe get momentum early here. They're push Nova away. Arkham Knight taking a lot of early damage, but they're
Right, again, calling people out of position. I don't know what your comms are like, but this Brig needs to die. Right, she's way out of position, and you've obviously seen her because you're challenging her. So your team needs to react to this call. I don't know if you're calling it and they're just not listening. If so, scream louder. But if you're not calling it, you need to call it. So,
They're forced to back away. The Panthers are just allowing this to go further and further. Liv Memory's
right,
gonna
she
get
almost
DMAC.
gets out. If your Zen hadn't like realized that she was over there, she would have got out, which is bad.
Rivsy's gonna get taken out as well. The Earthshatter already out from Nova. It takes down Dunless, Spaghetti, and Monk fall as well. That's a team wipe, and the payload pushing hard towards that 73 meters, Dell.
That was one of the most convincing fight wins I've ever seen in my GOATS career of watching it, and that's just showing the dominance that we are seeing here from the Panthers. You know, they just showed up to play, and this final fight starting for the map on 66 here in the national finals. We'll start with a big pick.
Yeah, Dunless gonna charge in there, just get to the payload in time, as well as pick up a kill, but the rest of the Green Knights are not there to contest. They
anything to
are
really
going to
talk
go
about there.
down because Liv Memory
Good read
cannot
on trying
stay
to
on
boop
point.
the Lucy away before he could touch.
Dominant game one
but,
has kind of been the
I
theme
mean,
of
again,
the season,
as you
Dell,
can see,
and this
pretty
time
dominant,
it
so
goes
it's
to
not
the
like-
Panthers.
And I'm skipping your play of the games,
Absolutely
by the way.
huge, because that was just one of the best.
So you have map.
We've seen the
Fortunately, in this, I think it's as far as terms of skill goes.
And then you
Oh,
play
and it
Hammond
really
here,
seems
which
like
we're gonna
the
quickly go
DPS
over.
have come up
I'm
big
just gonna point out a couple
from
things for
the
you.
teams that
To work with, you know, at Bob is a very powerful ultimate to contest point, and Dragon is just very good at zoning teams out of any spot you don't want them to be. And the interesting thing really is we're seeing a variation of goats that
So your comp is an abomination, first of all. Like you guys are not gonna have like I think you guys were hoping that they win goats as well. They win Zen goats. I think that's what you guys were thinking about. Because then potentially this could work. But against like any other comp, this is gonna struggle, right? Because you don't have enough sustain to put enough point pressure on against like any other comp, any other traditional comp that's usually played on this map. Since you're running Zen Brig, any other comp is just gonna sort of like take the outsides, take pillars, take either sides of the stairs or whatever, and just kind of poke you guys down. So your Brig's not gonna be doing much. You're gonna get poked down, which is something that Zen doesn't like, and you don't have a diva to mitigate damage, and you have a Hammond who usually takes up more damage than a Ryan or a Winston or anything. Like Hammonds usually take the most damage out of like any fucking tanks in my opinion. So as soon as you see that they're not running a goats, they're not running goats, so you're not doing a goats v goats matchup. I want you to you need to be trying to play more aggressive and pressuring whichever sniper isn't playing with the Orisa Hog. So if Ash is playing on the Crossfire or Hanzo's playing on the Crossfire away from the Orisa Hog, then you need to try to pressure out whichever one of those, right? You also need to be very careful and pay a lot of attention to the CC abilities of the other team. So things like Coach Gun, Halts, Lunge if you want, it's not the biggest deal. Yeah, don't worry about Boop, that's just too low of a cooldown for you to worry about. Sleep and Hook. So all 5 of these characters have CC. That's gonna kind of mess with you. So you need to be very aware of which ones have been used, which ones are still up, and how you can take advantage of that. Yeah, so if you see Hook used or you see Sleep used or something, Sleep's probably not going to be used, but if you see Hook used, then you can try to put pressure on the Orisa Hog and their supports. But yeah, these are going to fuck you up. Comboed with Halt, these are going to fuck you up. Their CC abilities are going to fuck you up, so you need to be very aware of them. But again, I'd like to see you put more pressure and play more aggressive.
goats that isn't too popular, but where we're seeing Andrew on Ball or Hamster instead of Diva.
Right, because you guys end up just sitting in Cubby and
yeah,
trying
I'm
to
actually curious to
force
see
point
how
pressure,
this
but
works.
you can't against
It's a
comp.
variation of
And again,
goats,
you guys don't really
and
scout
we
it, I
just
don't
kind of
think.
finished talking about this. Isn't a great
You go
goats
down there
point.
way too early, first of all. Like you guys should scout them to know that they're not running a goats matchup first before you commit to this positioning. Right? So even if that's just like sitting in this room up here and like looking through glass, like you can look through this and you can clearly see that they're not running a goats comp. So don't commit to this before you know what they have.
Point here, and
Yeah,
the crossfire's
it's a team
already
thing,
been
not
set
a
up by the
player
Green
thing.
Knights. Yes, the Panthers have position on the point, but the damage, if it can start coming through
That was a
here, could
shitty
be
amp.
key. Eclipse, you already see taking a big shot to the face there, and Nova's going to be the first one taken out by Live Memory. Numbers advantage. Eclipse taken out as well.
Like, you
That
guys can't
dueling
do anything to stop it,
sniper
right? You're all
really
just stuck in
putting
there.
in work right now for the Green Knights. They're going to push onto the
And you're
point.
not
They're
any help.
gonna
Like,
get there
your
first.
Briggs,
Andrew's
Zen,
gonna be taking down
and
Jeff Woods
Ball
as
are
well.
basically
And unlike
no
in
use there.
the first map, Dell, the Green Knights have momentum.
They do, and you also notice some key role swaps here. We see Spaghetti on the Orisa instead of Lucio, and we also see Monk favoring to play Ana over Zenyatta, which is maybe just a compositional switch that they needed to make to get the advantage.
Yeah, Live Memory already charging up that Hanzo out. Haru 80% of the way to unleashing Bob on the map.
Yeah,
No
so I'd like to
changes
see you take a
kind of coming
different
out from the
angle than
Panthers.
your
No
team.
overreaction to that first fight, but Jeff Woods taking a big hit early. And this is what the Green Knights comp was successful with in the semifinals. 3 ultimates now charged up. If they want to unleash chaos, they can. Live Memory's going to start this fight off trying to use just that. Bob's going to
Like,
come
you're
out
like
as
from that
well,
range,
right
you're doing
onto
nothing.
the
You're just kind of
point,
sitting
trying
there,
to
right?
get there. Is going to stay on the point, just barely.
And also another thing, use shield there. So it's just something that I noticed a couple. I think it's 1 or 2 other times. You use shield very early.
Barely an Arkham.
So you use shield too early. You need to use it more conservatively. Because you're not really getting out of any value out of it when you're using it like as you
Dell,
were.
this is the Green Knights holding firm.
Glitchy.
Holding firm is definitely the best way to put that. They did use a lot of a get ult fast button. If
Yeah, 74%.
Okay.
They have to get on here and maybe try and make something happen quick if they want
and
2
you swap
chances
the hog,
at this.
which is
Live Memory 9.
whatever. Again, like you don't want to try to. Yeah, I'm not even gonna.
90% already, getting so close to another Hanzo ult. There's that charge ult fast button that you were talking about from Spaghetti. Nova's going to be the first one to fall. Monk trades life for it. The point ticks over in the meantime. Mr. McDouble, Arkham, and Eclipse all fall. Live Memory pays for the transgression. They do switch the point over, Dell, so it's not quite over yet, but at 87%, this is very close, and we're seeing the changes come out. Eclipse going on to
Your Zen
Tracer.
needs to be on
The
point
call is made.
sooner.
We have to get on to point, and we have to do it quick here. 95% taking up.
There's
Nova's
no way
trying to
Zen
get there.
even gets back for this
Immediate
fight
use of
because he
Arkham
just
Knight's
died too late.
ultimate to get onto the point. They're trying to get this capped. It is on overtime, and right now, just getting on there to contest it. Andrew trying to get forward as that hamster get on there is going to be pushed back.
Right, like you need to be coming like down here and trying to take an off angle on them. Right, if you're attacking from the same angle that your wrist is attacking from, that's a problem.
Back. Dunless has the ultimate. Eclipse is the first one taken out. Haru gets the kill. Bob is going to come into the fight. Jeff Woods is taken out as well. That is one of those supports down. Andrew falling.
You need to
Monk's
be able to
pay,
use
but it's not
health
enough.
packs
Overtime
more
is
to
ticking
survive.
off, and it will be
Ball's
point
very
one to the
much
Green
like
Knights.
he's a disruptor, right?
And
So
that just shows you how
should
much
be able to
can
play
make a
him
difference in
without
what
healers, but
teams
just
are running
living
what
in the back line
compositions.
and
And
using
also
health
it can
packs to
show you how
survive.
tempo is completely determined by the pace of that
And
map.
going in when you have
the Green
cooldowns
Knights
and
did a
looking to
perfect
trade
reset there. They
cooldowns. So trading your adaptive shield and slam for like nade, sleep, and like potentially coach gun or something like that. Right? Because if you're doing that, if the Ana's shooting you, then she's not healing your team, her team. Right? And if 3 people are looking at you, then 3 people aren't shooting your team. Right? You're a disruptor, cause some hell. But yeah, try to take more off angles, and you used adaptive shield too early. Do you have anything else? Yeah, you were doing a weird frontline ball thing, which isn't gonna work against their comp and wouldn't work with your comp. I don't know.
open strong with a composition that they
That gonna switch it off. Dell, kind of a similar situation to what we saw on Route
Alright,
66.
yeah, so
In
you're on
that
Zarya
case, it was
now.
the Panthers coming out
Little
on
bit of a-
top. Can the Green Knights answer?
I hope they can. Interestingly enough, we have both Mei players are formerly the Zarya, so we will not see any Diva this map, it looks like.
And a big chunk of Monk's health taken out so quickly there, Dell. This fight has gotten on to the point. Spaghetti's going to be the first one down, though, and that numbers advantage is what the Panthers were looking for as they're pushing through. Haru was caught out a little bit, is able to stay alive. Point is live, though. Haru's going to fall. That should give first cap over to the Panthers as the Green Knights are forced to back up.
Forced to back up, we did see a pretty
So
equal
we
charge, but
haven't-
we are going to see
I haven't like talked to you a lot about Zarya because you don't play a lot of Zarya in our comps. Just typically because we have Godbun played and then you're usually on Diva in our Goats comps. But if you ever watch Godbun play or any like higher level Zarya play, especially in Goats comps, they play very aggro, right? To build ult charge as fast as possible. Now you need to be careful because they have a Mei and Mei can punish you. But you need to be playing more aggressive. And I'll try to point some specific cases out.
see Nova come up on top with a lot of Earthshatter charge here, and if it's anything like Route 66, he might use this Earthshatter ultimate to secure a big advantage for his team.
Especially when Dunless is only at 25% Dell, that's something to be very aware of. The discrepancy in the Reinhardts is huge, and here they come, speed boost in. They're trying to find an opening here, and the Green Knights just stopped in their first push by Eclipse's Mei. They're trying to force the fight onto the point. A Mei while there, the Earthshatter is going to come through. It is going to cause Spaghetti to go down. Mr. McDouble trades life, though. Transcendence is down from Monk to try and get them out. The Graviton on point is getting a lot of damage down. Nova and Arkham are going to fall. Blizzard is used as well by
Also,
Haru,
I've
and
noticed
that is
you
going
use
to
bubbles
wipe
very
the
early
remaining
in these
members of
fights.
the Panthers.
Like
45%
extremely early,
or
more
so
to get
ticking
charge.
over, but it's Green Knights that get the cap.
Green Knights to the cap,
Rather
but
than
we do
save
have
people,
Andrew
you
and
need to be a little
Eclipse's
less
combos
greedy
as
with
well
your
coming
bubbles,
up this next
especially in
fight.
comp
So
in
this
like
fight
these Mei comps.
needs to be played very, very tight, and they're
You need to use them to save your mind from freezing or being walled or getting burst down by discords and things like that. Rather than just using it solely for your energy. Yeah.
and there needs to be very little room for error, as this Mei Blizzard combo is just so lethal as we saw them take the point.
Well, Dunless does have that shatter up. Spaghetti is getting very close, and the dueling Mei walls just trying to stop pushes where they can. Rivsy is also very close to being able to drop the beat. That could be huge. Blizzard is going to be used towards the point, but the Graviton doesn't get a whole lot. Mr. McDouble is going to be the first casualty. Dunless falls as well, as it was a very good wall
So like
from
this whole thing was kind
Haru
of a
to try and keep
clusterfuck.
them there. Spaghetti is almost going to fall. Rivsy going to drop the beat. Not quite enough to save that Brigitte, and now fighting on the point. This is a long fight. Graviton is going to be used. Counter here. Jeff Woods is going to be able to take out Haru. Lib Memory falling as well, and the Panthers didn't necessarily start that fight great, but end it fantastically.
What really convincingly won that point.
So, kind of an early bubble. You should be pushing up with your Rhine here. Like, you guys should be chasing their Rhine down. You just killed their Zen, right? Their Zen and their Lucy are both still dead. And you have 6. I think you still have 6. You didn't lose anyone there, I don't think. Everyone should be back.
Didn't necessarily start that
Yeah,
fight
no, you
great,
guys
but
didn't lose
end it
anyone.
fantastically.
What
So it's
really
basically
convincingly
a
won that point
6v4
was actually that
if they're
Blizzard,
all
that
there,
Blizzard
which they're
split
not.
the team so hard that they were just
Right.
able to focus down and
Yeah.
get that point cap. So
Good.
really excellent focus there from the Panthers, and just even though that combo
again,
with the
bubble
Graviton
was
Mail
kind of early.
wasn't perfect, it still ended up winning them the fight.
It was
in the
more
end.
like a panic
And
bubble.
another
It's
key
like,
thing,
my
it's
Rhine's
talking about
charging in.
ults. Dunless did not get a chance to use the shatter there. We've seen
Right.
some
But here, right, you're spraying on point, you're just kind of sitting on point, right? Why not push up a little bit to their door, and then you can spam the hallway over there, like the alleyway, whatever you want to call it, right? Still, again, be aware of the Mei, but if your team is there, if your team is with you, and you're like, hey guys, I'm gonna go play more aggressive so I can help build my alt charge, then you'll be fine, right?
some massive shatter
Or even
from him
taking the
in this
opposite angle on the
nationals
other side of
tournament.
point
So
here.
not being able to
Like,
get that
either
out,
way.
so not being able to get that out is huge.
But finding an angle to play more aggressive here, because you guys just killed Ryan, right? And they have no shield to protect them from your spam. So you should be building this up faster. I think you end up getting in
Monk
this
has
fight, so it doesn't
Transcendence
really
as
matter.
well,
I'm just
though,
being
so at
nitpicky,
71%,
but it's
they
important.
feel like they can charge forward here. Haru is at 80% and building towards another Blizzard. They are trying to get down. Mr. McDoubles get taken down. Spaghetti goes down. Dunless is able to get out and get towards.
What just happened there?
They
Oh,
are
this is
trying to
being
get down.
weird
Mr.
today.
McDoubles get taken down. Spaghetti goes down. Dunless is
The
able to
hell?
get
Okay.
out and get towards the rest of the Panthers, but they fall one by one, and with 95%,
That didn't
we
happen
should be
yesterday. I don't know
going
why
to
it's doing
point
this
three
today.
here,
It's been
Dell.
really weird.
Point three, and it really is anyone's game, and it shows you exactly again how much a map can make a difference. And you have to remember with this map of Shrine,
And now it's lagging.
it's a very
Yeah.
open and different map. Goats competitions have been run on it, but we've also seen Farah's as well as Ashes. Is that anything can happen, and I'm intrigued to see if
Kind of one of those
All right, back on Diva.
possible configurations of goats. It's been in favor of the Panthers. They're playing it just a little bit crisper right now, and as we come in here, it looks like we're just in for goats v goats.
Goats v goats, but you have to remember that the Panthers have control of the point, as the Green Knights had a little bit of trouble in spawn there, and that
So this is more of a thing, and I know Andrew knows this, but I really hate when teams do this. So I'm just gonna point it out. I really hate it when teams try to fight up into these stairs when another team already has control of the point. Unless you have something like an ult advantage or someone's at a position or something, then yeah, go for it. But this is first fight, no ults. They have a better positioning right now. If they're just trying to go straight up, Andrew's team has better positioning, right? They can look down over Ryan's shield to shoot their back line because they have this little bit of high ground, right? They have these walls here they can use. They have the central pillar for their supports. Their supports can play on this side by Shrine, or they can play on Elephant side, and they can look for soft flanks, right? And then just go back and do their thing. They have so many options to do, and these guys try to force it up through mid, and it's not good. So either rotate underneath through the green room and go Shrine side, up high ground, or if you see that they have point advantage because you guys are slow, rotate to Elephant side. So that's my little rant.
positional advantage forces the enemy team to come through that choke, and that's just really brutal. As we're seeing Zarya also use.
Yeah, and you're seeing that damage come
Okay, so this is the
through here hard.
thing. Yeah, okay. So Andrew, use boosters here to try to pressure the D.Va, right? But in using boosters to try to chase this D.Va, you've used cooldowns that you didn't need to use, right? If D.Va had decided to stay on your Rhine, she would have died, right? Like there's no need, like you're not doing anything to protect him, right? I've talked to you about this before, how you use boosters to go into the Rhine to create a bit of space and separation, right? So that's all this D.Va is doing. So if she stays in the middle of your team, she's dead, and they lose the fight, right? And especially since your Rhine is still like full HP, but their Rhine isn't, so that's why she's doing this. So by using boosters and DM here to not really do anything, like you're not accomplishing anything, right? You've now given them a window. So instead of being up, like having an advantage in cooldowns and resources, now you're sort of even, right? They're weaker, but you've just traded resources when you could have been up resources and had a health pool lead, right? So if you hadn't chased this D.Va, you could have punished their Rhine, right? I think your Rhine ends up
really
dying
low
because
memory.
you can't. Yeah. So like your Rhine kind of plays weirdly. I don't know what happened with that, or if your supports or whatever, but like you weren't there to eat the bash. You weren't there to create separation in between their Rhine or their Brig and your Rhine, because you've already used your boosters, right? So let's just take this.
Haru
So
getting taken
boosters used.
really low lip.
Then Rhine for some reason ends up going over here or something. I don't know if he was pushed over there or he moved over there, but he did. and he's discorded, and now he's getting fucked up, and you don't have boosters to get to him or to eat the bash or protect him. DM is still on cooldown, so all these things, right? So
Live Memory getting jumped on from the back. Nova is actually the first one to fall. Dunless trades,
you end
though.
up winning
Live
this because
Memory
they
taking
pushed
out
their
turn.
advantage too much. They overestimated. Like, again, you guys still have positional advantage. And they're still half, like they're still not full health, right? So even though they've taken the Reinhardt down, they're still missing a lot of health, and they've used resources. I don't remember how many bubbles they used, but they used bash. I think they used whip shot as well. And right, so they're already down, so they've used a lot of resources, and they already don't have positional advantage, which is the big thing. So they've overestimated how much they could do after killing your Rein. But your Rein shouldn't have died because you should have been there to eat the stun, protect from Discord and stuff, and damage like that, but you couldn't because DM was on cooldown, and you didn't have boosters to create space for your Rein. Also, your Rein was weirdly out of position. I don't know why he went over there. Your team has this weird thing about being split on points like this. I don't know why.
Turns the tide. Haru getting demech gives the Panthers the go button, as it is only the supports remaining as the Green Knights are routed in this first fight.
And that just shows you how much an advantage position can give you. You know, that the Clips had no pressure on them to use Zarya bubbles, and by using those bubbles second, it gives your Ryan such a big advantage in the form of free damage that is uncounterable. And that's something that those little hesitations in spawn
Like
can really set
this,
you
okay, so
up
this goes
for
back
not.
to the aggression thing I was saying earlier. I know this isn't Andrew, but I'm just saying that like, Eclipse could have done this a little bit sooner to build alt charge a little bit more, and that's just an example of someone else doing it, and I thought I'd point that out to you. So he could have played a little bit aggressive a little bit sooner, and he could have fired over them as they were coming down the stairs up here, and he probably would have been at like 80, 85 alt charge.
What you
And then
want.
he'd have it sooner by the time the fight started, basically.
Yeah, 14% ticking. This is the situation the Panthers have excelled in, having positional advantage, having ult advantage as well, as Eclipse is at 82% and charging
early
towards
bubble.
that Graviton. Nova has the shatter if they want to look for it. Jeff Woods' Transcendence gives them a chance here, and Nova not getting anything with shatter.
Yeah, you're like, this is on Nova. This is on Nova feeding, basically. He's playing over aggressive when he doesn't need to. Let's see if you can do anything here, though. I don't think there's anything you do. You're on the
If they
left
want to look for it,
side.
Jeff Woods' Transcendence
There's
gives
some
them
DM.
a chance here, and Nova not getting anything with
alternating,
shatter,
like,
going down for
yeah.
it. Monk popping the Transcendence, that is the go button. Dueling Transcendences here from Jeff Woods. All the ult buttons being pushed in.
Like, again, I don't, like, what happened to Ryan's shield? Did it break earlier? Like, I genuinely want to know, because the Ryan could have stopped so many kills from multiple D.Va bombs across multiple maps if he just positioned his shield out better. I don't know, like, did it break or did it?
Not getting anything with shatter, going down for it. Monk popping the Transcendence,
He has
that is
it. Oh,
the
it
go
pops
button.
there.
Dueling
Okay, he doesn't
Transcendences
have
here
it.
from
Doesn't
Jeff
have it.
Woods. All the ult
Okay.
buttons being pushed in.
Okay, no,
Andrew
he
with
wouldn't
a
have had it.
4K D.Va bomb to push the Green Knights
He would have
back.
like
That
just gotten
looked
it back
so
like after
tense
the
for a
bomb
second
exploded.
there, and
Okay, that
Andrew
makes sense.
once again breaks it wide open.
That was an interesting turn of events there. You know, we saw Nova go for the 360 shatter there. Did not find all he wanted, but his team backed him up with a beautiful Graviton combo. And Andrew getting a nice clean 4K there. You know, 53%. This is do or die for Nepal and a 2-0 lead. So we need to see some big plays being made with all these ultimates we have on the side of the.
Yeah, that's the advantage here for the Green Knights. They have the ult advantage. We saw them win a fight on Route 66 in this similar situation. They have to go for it, though. Live Memory and Rivsy are both going to press the ult button. The D.Va Bomb's going to come through. It is going to get two as Eclipse and Mr. McDouble fall. Nova falls is being forced away by that D.Va Bomb. Arkham Knights ult doesn't get a whole lot here, and it's pretty much Andrew left alone on the point. Gonna get demeched, gonna go down, and it's 82%. Gonna tick up towards about 85 by time this cap switches, but the Green Knights are alive.
So the important thing here for the Green Knights is they have to maintain their advantage. You know, they don't have much of one, but they do have enough that they can turn this back into an even playing field. What we need to see from the Panthers as well is just building a good amount of Zarya charge and then engaging properly. And we are going to see this fight.
Yeah, the fight's gonna start on the point. The Panthers are not
This fight is so messy.
not afraid and just charging right in. Dunless and Monk have ults if they can look for them. They're being patient. Jeff Woods has a dueling transcendence. Dunless falls without being able to use the Earth Shatter. Haru's going to get demeched, and that is possibly disaster for the Green Knights in this fight as Mr. McDouble's ult is ticking down. Jeff Woods is trying. The beat from Spaghetti was dropped, but here is Eclipse's Graviton, and that is enough for the Panthers as they push through 85% and ticking up.
Ugh.
Dell, they might have one more shot if they can get here.
And then there's this.
If
Oh
they
my
can get
god.
here is the big question. You know, we doesn't look like
This-
we're gonna
this
see
map
all
is
of
over,
touch
by the
that
way,
we thought we
but
were
I'll
going
let
to,
it play
and
out
it's gonna be a
because
very hard time. Spaghetti is gonna go for
I
the
don't know
big
what they
rollout
were
here.
thinking. There's
What
no way
does
you
get
can
moved
come
away?
back to the point. Like they
Ultimately,
tried to go
point
back to
will
the point
not
with
be
2%
touched,
left.
and the
Like
map will go to
that's
the
not
KT
happening,
Panthers.
guys.
Yeah, so close there. On
Come on.
Hanamura, we may see a 3-0 in the book
Deal for the map. Maybe it's just
in this season, Dell. And this is such a
maybe they can just establish it.
Okay, Hanamura.
Is very good at dealing with ghosts. The Bastion comps we've seen before, and so what that means specifically for
Alright, so
the
these are
defenders
attacking
here is
first.
that they have to have
Sombra
very
Scout.
good rotations with
Cool.
their tank.
You're just gonna
here.
end
They're
up
going
going
to give
back.
up a lot of
Yeah.
room to try and make this Bastion work, and they're trying to pull him down, but the
Okay, so actually I need to go back to see what you actually did scout on Sombra.
and you see that Bastion, they're set up to defend this. They're up on the high ground.
Okay, yeah, you did see it.
It's-
Okay, good.
It's kind of an interesting
making sure
setup
that
that
you
we've
actually
seen.
scouted
Andrew
properly.
may have been able to spot it out with
So
that
you'll scout
Sombra
properly
push,
on Sombra here. You don't
and
play it,
now
but
they
you won't
switch
scout
over to the
properly on
goats.
Diva.
That
I see
first
how it is.
push could be key here. They're going to give up a lot of room to try and make this Bastion work, and they're trying to pull him down, but the Panthers know exactly what they're going.
So yes, it is important to stop the Bastion damage, but there's also other important stuff that you need to be, that as a diva you need to be aware about, right? So halt, nade, and we'll just say Bastion damage. Those are the three things you need to worry about. So you have shield and bubbles. Bubbles can be used against nade and Bastion damage, but not against halt, right? They'll still get pulled out of position and stuff. I might be not explaining that properly, but I don't really want to go into it right now. Nade can be cleansed by bubbles, and it can be blocked by shield. Bastion damage can be blocked by shield and bubbles, right? So yes, again, it's important for you to eat Bastion damage, but it's also very important for you to eat Orisa's halts. Because I really doubt that Anna's gonna get off a nade that your Ryan isn't gonna be able to catch with his shield. So I wouldn't worry about too much about that. And then you do have the shield for a lot of the Bastion damage, right? They're not running like a junk or anything. They're running triple. They're running triple support. I just realized that. So there's no. Your Ryan shield isn't gonna break before you get under here, even though they have damage boost and they have a Zen. Your shield's gonna hold. So you need to be aware of this halt that comes out. Let me see if I
They're
can.
going into.
Let me see if I can. Alright, so you're DMing here. You're DMing Bastion damage.
Trying to pull him down, but the
Which is
Panthers
fine.
know exactly what they're going
But then
into.
the Orisa
Just
halt
get underneath
pulls your Ryan
of
off. The
Haru,
Orisa
and
halt
Dell,
was
that was beautiful
not
scouting.
It was a great play.
executed properly, so that was a thing. But you really need to be careful about the Orisa halts, because I think on this first push you eat
Great
like
play from Andrew here.
one out
we
of
are going to see
4
Eclipse
or
actually
something.
start
It
the
kinda
point tick,
fucks you
and
up a
there's
little bit.
nothing that can be done here. The rotation just can't happen, and this is going to be absolutely disastrous here for the defense.
Right, you eat the
Yeah,
nade,
the
I
Green
think that
Knights
was, which is
just
good.
barely.
That, right, halt, right there. Onto your Discorded Lucio and your Zarya, right? So, and you're off fighting this Diva, which is fine. But you need to be careful of halt, and you also need protecting against the Bastion, right? It's not... Right? Because your Zarya is not going to really do anything about the Bastion. Like, she's not going to be able to do anything about that setup, right? But she can fight the Diva. Your Rein can't do anything about this setup besides shield, but he can do something about this Diva. Your Brig, same thing. Same with your Lucio. Everyone on your team can't really do anything about this except for you. You have the most impact against this setup, right? While everyone else can fight this D.Va. So it's important that you and your Rein figure out who's shielding when to alternating, and where you guys are gonna position, right? You guys should just be like all inning on the fucking D.Va, and then you should be turning around every once in a while. Like you should be turning around and watching your back. For halts, nades, things like that. I mean, they already use nades, so you're fine there. But you need to be paying attention to this. Like, this setup, what they're doing up here is more important for you to pay attention than this D.Va. Your team can take care of the D.Va. Obviously, you can help because you're a duelist, and I know that. Like, you love dueling D.Vas. But you need to pay attention more to this setup, to this halt especially, right?
Contesting that second tick, but this
Right, your Lucio gets away with like half HP. And he probably should have died if his team was better. So,
but this is difficult position for them. That second tick's gonna go down. They haven't been able to move off this high ground because that's where Haru is set up. They do take down Nova. Mr. McDouble, very low lib memory, is going to get demeched and taken
there's another
down.
halt that you didn't
Mr.
eat.
McDouble falls as Haru charges into the point now with the tank
Good body
form
block,
of this
nice.
Bastion, trying to find anything. Dunless falling as well, though, and with Monk just delaying the push, they're now trying to get on there. Dunless is going to get rezzed up by Spaghetti. Andrew going to get taken down. Dunless falling yet again, though. They have to stay on this point because it is so close to point A.
Battle
Falling. Ripsy's going
Mercy.
to fall. The ultimate from Jeff Woods has had time to charge up. They're getting in there. Haru is forced to fall, and it's only Lib Memory defending this. It was a scrappy
This swap would have,
fight
like,
once
I
they
like
got
this
onto
swap, by the way. Like, this is a decent swap, but he should have done it earlier. Like, he was on Brig, and then he kind of, like, had to go back to spawn to swap or something. He was very hesitant on it. He should have done it earlier to get more value out of it. Because at this point, like, at this point in the fight, he already would have been back. He would have been, like, in range of the Bastion as Brig, and Bastion still would have died, even if he wasn't on Widow. Like, it didn't matter. But it was a good idea and a good swap. Just should have done it sooner.
a point, but
And the
still
fight
the
was messy. I'm
Panthers
not
come
really
out with
gonna.
momentum.
Momentum,
I mean, you
and
did what
you have to
needed
remember
to do
that
as Steve. I was
they're
trying to
not
keep
going
the
to have
team
enough
alive
time
there,
to
so
set up
it's whatever.
Bastion. They are going to immediately swap to Goats with Goats v Goats, and the ultimate advantage from the Panthers here is going to be really hard to work with from the 9-7.
Yeah, and this is difficult for the Green Knights as they've already been pushed onto the point.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is difficult for the Green Knights as they've already been pushed onto the point. But Eclipse getting taken down without being able to use that Zarya bubble is key here. Andrew almost falling as well, but Dunless and Haru are going to fall on the flip side. Rivsy going down as well. They don't even need.
No, there was something I needed to point out here, I think. Don't fuck up on me. Come on, Visor.
All here, and
Come on. Okay.
defensive start,
Alright,
but
where
the
were we?
Panthers.
Indeed, Symmetra is one of those heroes that can work.
Too far back. Too far
By
forward.
Spaghetti, Andrew going
Too far back.
with momentum
Finish
onto the
further.
point, but
Alright.
Eclipse getting taken down without being
Perfect.
able to use that Zarya bubble is key here. Andrew almost falling as well, but Dunless and Haru are going to fall on the flip side. Rivsy going down as well. They don't even need Eclipse's Graviton for this fight right now, as Nova has the ult. If they want to try and use it, Diva Bomb is going to come through from Lip Memory, is not going to get anything though.
So, this bomb was interesting. Like, I'm not a fan of it. I understand why you did it. As soon as you saw these bubbles out, oh, Visor, come on. Okay, there we go. As soon as you saw the bubbles out, you went up for the bomb. You started your trajectory upwards, which is good. You waited for bubbles, which is cool. But I'm still not convinced it was the right thing to do, and I'm sort of like torn between it.
And now the
I'll just play it
Now
out.
the members of the
Yeah.
Panthers are all here, and
Right. Okay. So
Andrew spawns
you get the Lucio because he ran this way instead of over here, and he didn't use his Brig or his Rhine or this corner. He tried to use this corner, so he literally did like the worst possible thing as opposed like the only worst thing he could have done is like stand underneath the bomb. I'm not like that's rude, but like seriously, there were lots of other options he could have had to stay alive there, and you guys shattered him as well, so that's kind of weird. Um, so that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of this bomb. You got one kill, but you had to use your shatter to get it, and because Lucio messed up. You also got the DMEC here. I know you can't see it, but it's off screen. It's right over here. And is that because where's your Brig actually? Did Brig whip shot her out?
here.
I was gonna say it's because their Lucio was in it and their D.Va messed up, but did she get whip shot? Because she was
Andrew spawn's
stunned.
gonna come.
Did she get whip shot? No.
Andrew spawn's gonna come
No,
through.
she didn't.
Is
Okay. So their Lucio's dead. The value you got out of that bomb was Lucio died and you DMEC D.Va. Both of which because they were dumb and they messed up. So it's an okay bomb in the sense like, okay, yeah, they used bubbles. That's a good read. But you only got kills out of it because the other team messed up, and we don't want to rely on the other team messing up to make plays. Also, let's look back at this, right? So we just used beat,
thing though.
and it's a 3v5, 6? Someone else is up here, I think. 3v6. 3v6, right? No bubbles. Zarya's low charge, doesn't have grav, right? You could easily kill this Lucio. Your Lucio looks at him, right? You have a Lucio, he's in between your Lucio and your Zen, so all they have to do is fucking turn around and look at him, and all you have to do is shoot him, right? Right? And then you can move on to Zarya and D.Va. Right?
And now the members
As opposed to this, where your Lucio's doing something, I don't know what. Your Zen's fighting their D.Va. Your Ryan's fighting the Zarya. Your Brig, I think, is also shooting the D.Va from behind, and the Ryan's coming back, and you're just kind of floating midair. So, like, this whole thing is, like, really messy. But still, I still think it's not the best bomb. I still think you could have had more value if you didn't bomb, you had waited. Again, good read. You saw they used their bubbles, so they couldn't block it, but the only reason they still died to the bomb is because they messed up, and you had to use Shatter to kill the Lucio. So
of the Panthers
I'm
are
not the
all
biggest fan of this
here.
bomb.
Andrew spawn's gonna come through. Is gonna take down Spaghetti in
right, and now they're back.
combo with the with the slam there.
Right, and you had Grav. And you had Grav.
There
So.
from Nova. Haru's going to get taken down. Eclipse is here. Still has that Graviton Surge if needed, but they are just pushing.
Brig. Shoot Brig.
Pushing the Green Knights around.
And this fight is just one of the
Zen, what are you doing?
classic Hanamura styles where we're just seeing anything to be done here, but just ultimately the numbers advantage and the ultimate advantage, the numbers advantage and the ultimate advantage on the side of the Panthers is just leading them to eventually hopefully getting some ticks on the point as they take that.
Yeah, and they're going to use the Graviton key there. They're getting
things that you have to remember is
Visor,
because you went for a bastion
What the
defense,
fuck?
you just don't have the ults or the ult advantage that we saw Eclipse lead to see to work with.
Anyway,
It's 5 minutes. While
some
it does
target
seem like a
priority
lot,
things. Don't think the bomb was the best. You could have waited for another opportunity. To use it with Grav, or you could have grabbed one door and bombed the other to stop stalls from coming, right? So
it can be dealt with. And 2CP can go any way as long as the clock has a little.
For doing,
Oh, and
it
this is
allowed
another
them to
bomb that I'm
execute
gonna.
almost to perfection on that first point.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This is another bomb that we're
when
gonna
Mm-hmm.
you
need
have
to talk
kind of
about.
what we call an option setup like that, where you use your Sombra to scout, what you do is you let the team not only know that you have a couple different options to use, but also you're prepared for a lot of situations. And so what we should have seen from that defensive team was an immediate rotation to point, because if you don't have something like a Symmetra to instantly teleport you to point or high ground, any ways to contest, you're just going to be left out to dry, as we saw the Ghost team just take the point very convincingly.
Yeah, and we are seeing a change here from the Green Knights as they are
Again,
running for
scouting.
support with Liv.
Right? Like, you can know that they're running as like a Symmetra. Just sit up in the window, sit on top of these gates. Like, why not? There's no reason not to. Right? They can't do anything about it.
With Live Memory and Dunless as their tanks. Haru maybe trying to get in there and set some portals up before leaving, but Haru getting taken out by Eclipse and Rivsy and Monk all falling. 3 of those 4 supports are down, and Spaghetti is not going to be any better here. Live Memory falling, and just once again, Dell, the answer to the Panthers is to run through the Green Knights.
Running through them, indeed. You know, Symmetra is one of those heroes that can work a lot of ways, but against the Goats team, it doesn't really work just for the reasons we just saw. We are going to see a very sneaky setup here from Nova, and he's going to look for a big pin here, and we'll see if he can.
Yeah, this is shades of what we saw from Dunless in the semifinals. Not going to quite be as effective as Nova just charges back to the team. Eclipse is just in the front
Right, so
lines.
Andrew, you're positioned on the corner, in
the
between the corner of the building and the rock. I'm okay with that position, that's fine. You're kind of there to protect your supports. You're also in a position to help your tanks if you need to, so like I'm okay with that position. You guys have like a weird, like a concave thing going on, which is whatever. I'm not gonna talk
Zarya,
about that.
an 84% ult charge shows exactly why. Nova has charged up the Shatter. Might look for it if the situation arises. They're grouped up a little bit here. Hits a massive 4-man Earthshatter. They're going for it.
Right, yeah, you're in
For
position,
Dunless
right?
falls,
You can
Nova falls,
capitalize on
Haru gets demeched. It's the support there. Haru is going to get taken down slowly but surely by Andrew. They're charging in. Haru might be able to demech if he can get away. Will not. And 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
2.5 minutes of
You guys
clock.
have grab bomb. I think
you know,
this is this the
2CP
bomb
does
that I
give
was
you
gonna.
4 minutes if you do capture that point, so
Anything to
we're
talk
not quite
about?
out of the danger zone yet. We are going to see a lot of ultimates from the Green Knights here, and hopefully we see some big plays here. With all
yeah, okay, so I can't hear your comms, but I'm pretty sure Eclipse is saying he's gonna grab the door. Because the way he was looking at it and the way he's spraying it, I'm pretty sure he's telling you that he's gonna grab the door. And I think you're going to set up for this bomb now.
all these support ultimates.
Yeah, a lot of ults on both sides really, Del, here as we see
But I need to
Arkham
pause that
getting
like
close
perfect
to
because you can't
that
see it
Lucio
in
ultimate as well. Spaghetti
frame.
got started off with that Lucio ult. Gonna try and push for
Right here. Okay, perfect timing. You're up there. Okay. It skipped back a frame, but you're still up there. You're sitting in that corner, that doorway. I'll just play through so we can see this whole play. If Visor will let me play it. Anytime now.
forward.
Seriously,
Andrew and
what the
Eclipse are
fuck?
just using the combo once again.
Right? So, again, another situation
Once again, though, drops the
where their Ryan could have just like shifted his shield a little bit, but he just kind of like stood there and kept it where it was. Like he could have saved them if he shifted it properly. I don't know if the bomb goes under the door. I don't think it does. So there's that. But you also placed it too far behind the door. So if that's a setup, first of all, I think it's too fancy of a bomb spot and you're just like overdoing it because you guys are kicking their ass. But yeah, whatever. Go for the flashy plays. But yeah, I'm going to switch to Overwatch so I can show you. Because if that's a set D.Va bomb spot, then you did it wrong. And hopefully my frames don't drop too badly because I'm also recording. Preset, what maps is this on? Hanamura, okay. And let me change my scenes real quick. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, frames are gonna be bad, but bear with me. I guess I don't have sound on. Oh well, doesn't really matter. And no, I don't usually play at these frames. I usually get more, so. I think it's about here. Right there. I think it's there. Right? And lands it right here. You can also get a little bit closer to the door if you want to land it like right on the shield, I think. About here. Let me try to figure it out for you guys. Right there, yeah. The next one's right here. That should be within the shield. But I'm not happy with that because I'm just being weird about this. That's a little bit better. But your bomb landed like over here. So their Rhino was like stuck on this doorway. And if he just turned his shield a little bit, he would have saved them. But anyway, if that's a bomb spot, you need to practice it. Yeah. Because it wasn't exactly where you need to, and their Ryan could have stopped it. Unless I'm not seeing something from this POV, but I could be. Who knows? It's not a
The
great
Diva Bomb
POV for
behind him
this
picks
for
up
mod review,
Spaghetti
but yeah,
and
it's whatever.
Rivsy as Monk's ultimate did not protect those two supports, and now with Dunless and with Memory left out to dry, it's only Haru remaining.
Haru is going to get out though, I think, with his mech. I believe he's in spawn, right? Yeah, so he's in spawn. So that was good, but we are going to see another sneaky play set up from Nova.
Yeah,
here.
Nova does.
You know, one of the things that's different from the last time he went for this is he has shatter, so he doesn't need to look for a big pin.
Oh, fuck.
He can just hit that instant shatter for a big team.
And this has been situations we've seen. Going to go for the pin, though, instead does
Good pin.
get it, I believe, onto Dunless. Pulling that tank in is huge. The shatter comes through as well, gets all 5 of the remaining members of the Green Knights, and they fall like dominoes.
They fall indeed. You know, that one of the things that's a pretty glorifying moment to get that shatter, but it wasn't necessarily needed as they already had the advantage, and that shatter might be the reason that Dunless is able to get his team back in this game.
Well, we'll have to see here.
Well, it would have
Dell,
been
1
fine.
minute to
Like the caster's right, but it would have been fine if you guys actually staggered the D.Va properly. But yeah.
go. The Green Knights have to push in. They have to find some foothold in this map here. Dunless and
So you're
Haru's
still playing
ultimates
back on the
could
rock.
be the key. Rivsy's going to start
You
it
need to
off
be tracking
with
if
that
they have
support
grav.
ultimate. They're going to go in for it.
And
With
then you
Memory's
beat it.
going to use the
Nice.
Graviton,
Okay,
but
good.
it gets eaten by Andrew. That is huge. The Diva Bomb
And
from
they
Haru
bomb.
doesn't have a nice setup for. They do get Jeff Woods' Transcendence for it, but a counter Graviton from Eclipse is enough to demech Haru. Monk trying to save life. They are on point. They are getting some ticks. And with Mr. McDouble down, they can look for this. Nova's going to fall as well. Monk does pay, but Andrew gonna get demeched, not or just uses the Diva Bomb right at the end. Doesn't get anything as Eclipse picks up another kill into Dunless, though. This is now a very close fight in terms of numbers on the point, but with Haru getting
I
demeched,
can't
Eclipse getting
really say
taken
anything
down,
about this. It's
still
just
fairly
scrappy.
even here, and that's not what the Green Knights need. Is they get it to overtime, but they give point A.
They give point A, and they also
Okay, there's something else. Don't be weird on me. There's something else I need to talk
just in
about
the way on
right
this attacking
here.
team, and so
Yeah,
if
okay.
they can make the right plays, they could just as easily have 4 minutes on the clock.
But
Yeah,
it's lagging
and they're
again,
gonna
so I'm not
try to
gonna be
push
able to
through,
pause
but
it.
a good answer from.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk about your position here. From here, you're not really doing much. I mean, you can see main, sure. You can rotate high ground if you need to, sure. But you're not really doing anything, right? So why not play up here with your team already? Why not play just straight above them, right? Why not play on here or play using these as cover? Like use these pillars as cover, right? That way you can kite back if they're pushing into you. You still have boosters if you need. You're contesting point initially. You're actually doing damage with your guns and your rockets. right? And you're still able to scout if they come through here, if they come main. So play on one of these, play above them, play with your team over here. Do one of them. Like, this is not really doing anything for your team, right? But if you're playing like up here above them, you should coordinate like, hey, you might need your Ryan to drop first to contest point, and then you can pincer them, or whatever, right? Like if you're positioning on here first, then like, yeah, going up here, for your rotation, use boosters to rotate off point. That's fine. But starting up here is useless. It doesn't really do anything for you.
From the Panthers, able to back up and try and just defend, not allow the snowball to come through. And now they're looking for the fault. There's the Graviton. It only catches onto Eclipse, really, though. So not a whole lot of value from that. It does take down Eclipse, and not able to have that counter Graviton is huge as Nova falls. Transcendence is going to come down, and the Diva Bomb does not get anything there from Haru, but Mr. McDouble falling. Andrew coming very close. Jeff Woods falling as well. The Green Knights momentum is still going strong. They've gotten one.
You know, I don't even know what to say about this play because it's way too fucking scrappy for me to like properly comment on it. You have Diva Bomb. You basically have Diva Bomb, um, Grav. Words are hard right now. You basically have Bomb Grav combo, right? 5% away. You're going at this door. Go away. Notifications. Your Zarya's going at this door. That's fine. That's cool. Again, that goes back to the thing I was talking about, like going out separate checkpoints. But you don't quite have bomb, right? So it goes into win conditions, right? You guys can win this, or you can just try to stall it as long as you can. And if you're stalling, the only chance you have at winning is if they fuck up, right? Like fuck up hard. But you guys can win this. This is still a winnable fight because you guys have bomb Grav, which you also might get shatter off of, and you almost have rally as well, right? Well, they just have shatter. So you have an ult advantage and spawn advantage going into this. So first of all, your Zarya rushes it. Don't know why. Like, you have a Ryan and a Lucio right here. Just wait, give them the second tick. And that also gives you time to build your bomb. So you should also be telling your Zarya that you don't have boosters because you use them. And I'm not opposed, like, if anyone didn't catch it, use them to basically dodge the Brig stun. Use it to, like, fake her out, basically. But you kind of need to just walk by the Brig. As stupid as that sounds, like, you're not gonna be able to kill her, right? You'll provide more help to your team if you're on point. Or at least, like, here, like, DMing or something, or playing with your team, right? You trying to 1v1 a Brig is not gonna help your team. Unless their Brig is, like, stupid. Like, you're not gonna win that. And she already used Bash, so she can't really, like, stop you. Right? So just, like, walk by her. Unless you're farming her. The only reason you should be here is farming her. Like, trying to get that extra 5%. Which is fine. But again, tell your Zarya you don't have boosters. And again, I'm fine with the way you use boosters, that's whatever. But you need to communicate, like, yeah, I have ult in 5%, and again, I don't know what your comms are like, but I'm just gonna assume that your Zarya thought you had bomb, because you said you had bomb like 5% before it or something. Because this is how you win this fight. This is how you win. Like, you win the map, but you guys end up fucking up. So, I'm gonna assume something went wrong in your comms.
It's Eclipse with the Graviton trying to get there, trying to find something.
Ryan
Nova has
built
shatter.
shatter
If he
off
can
of
use
it.
it, he does,
Doesn't-
and only gets Rivsy for it. The Diva Bomb comes through.
Why did he drop his shield there? Alright, so
to
then
find something. Nova has
kind of
Shatter.
ignoring
If
her,
he can
this
use
is
it, he
good.
does, and only gets Rivsy for it. The Diva Bomb.
Oh, he tried to charge. God damn it, Nova. Yeah, that's an okay bomb. It's a fine bomb. You guys should basically use it to reset yourselves, like create this space and reset yourselves. Because you guys will win that if you can just compose yourselves, because your spawns are way closer, right? And you have ult advantage, but Nova tries to do a fucking, it's like a boxing match. Nova's in this corner, Dunless is in this corner, tries to charge, and Dunless is just like, nope, you activated my trap card.
Comes through and finishes off that support, but they are still fighting as Dunless and Monk pick up 2 more kills.
And then
They're
it's just a
trying
stall
to
fight
push
'cause you
through
guys
here.
fucked up.
They're about halfway through that second tick. If this fight can keep going, Jeff Woods falls. Mr. McDouble is probably going to fall here shortly in the front lines. It's just 2 of the tanks, but the spawn advantage here for the Panthers is being huge. Monk's going to pop Transcendence, and that is enough to push through. They are going to almost get that second tick. Just not quite able to get it yet. Nova's going to get taken out. This fight just continuing, Dell, as spawn being a huge thing to keep the Panthers in this, but the Green Knights are just farming ult charge right now. Second
Yeah,
tick's
you
going
guys
to go
had
down.
opportunity. You
The
had like
stall's
2
trying to come out,
opportunities, 2 or 3
but
opportunities to
it's
win this, and you
it
just
feels like a
messed it
matter
up.
of time, Dell.
So
Matter of time
I don't know
indeed.
what you want me to
There's
say
just
about that
not
one.
really a way for the defending team to get back in here. The only thing they can do is continue to burn time, and that time is going to be a big resource here, as they get to potentially 3-minute point right into the
And then at point B to knock 2 minutes off the clock.
Alright,
exact
you
the
guys are
finals
defending again.
victor here on our
Same comps.
Again,
Goats.
that could be crucial for this fight, and we'll just have to see. They're gonna look for it, push right
I'll
up
probably just go hit this one
into
a little quicker
the
'cause we
choke
already went
point,
over the first
and
part of it.
Nova is the first one to fall. Haru picks up the first kill, and this is something
Did you protect him? Do you DM while he swung?
the choke point, and no choke point, and we'll just have to see. They're gonna look for it, push right up into the choke point.
Okay, so you dropped it for a second when we started swinging. That's unfortunate. You were DMing before, then you stopped, but then he got bubble, so he decided to go swing, and then you DM'd. You stopped DMing, like, which is unfortunate, because they actually decided to push as a team and play like a proper goats comp, which is good. Which is why they were to burn your Rhine down so fast, but yeah, I don't know. Nothing you could have done there. I mean, save DM. Don't. I mean, if I could see your POV here, I could probably make a better judgment call on it, but like, I don't know. If they're pushing in like that, you need to have DM ready to help him.
And
And-
Nova
and
is the first
can't
one
be
to
on
fall.
cooldown.
Haru picks up the first kill, and this is something the Green Knights have not had in this series so far. Haru is going to get
Yeah, they actually
denecked,
like.
and
they
Rivsy's
got
going
their
to fall,
stuff
so
together.
Eclipse may be coming up huge here. Mr. McDouble getting taken down, though. Dunless falling as well. Fairly even on numbers left in this fight. We'll have to just see who decides to try and press advantage. Who can find that? Live Memory is going to get taken down by Eclipse. Eclipse is 96%, does have the Graviton, and they force them back after the initial pick.
You know, I have to just give a really big shout out to Eclipse here. He's just been the core of holding his team together. Even when Nova drops like that, his high charge Zarya play just led that team to really good focus. And that is just the big difference here. You know, we saw a switch up in this Zarya player
It's not even like
the Knights.
Like, yeah, you guys are playing well, but their comp, like I can just tell their comps break down so much as soon as they get the advantage when they kill your Rhine. After they kill Rhine, they have no idea what to do. I can already tell, like I can just tell that from watching how they play.
In the
which
form
is
of Haru
really
and
funny.
Live Memory, but it's just not finding the success that Eclipse is having here on its big pick.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Bomb
Haru is
grab.
stuck trying to find something on this Diva. It is 4 ultimates. Nova pretty much the only major ultimate not available for the Panthers. They're going to DMAC Haru fairly quickly in this fight. Monk and Dunless have ultimates if they can use it. There's going to be the Graviton. Monk.
That's a better bomb. Also, you should look up bomb spots on Hanamura. They're quite interesting. There's a lot of them. They're quite interesting. So this is a decent bomb. I'd prefer it to be like a little more back here in this area because I think it's gonna land like right over here-ish. I prefer to be more on an angle, but you can't really do that from the angle you're shooting it from. But you guys need to play aggressive with it.
Monk's gonna proc the ultimate.
Okay, you got the bash on him, I think, or shatter. Did you shatter him? Nova shattered. Okay, don't know why. Just use bash, but whatever. But yeah, you guys played aggressive with it, so that's cool.
But it
It's
is
a good bomb.
another
It's a good bomb.
4K from Andrew as Monk's ult cannot do much of anything there. It's going to fall. Haru is going to get slightly staggered. 40 seconds.
Combination of Graviton from Lib Memory once again, but he isn't going to find all that he.
Yeah, just trying to find a little something. Mr. McDouble is hitting the go button though for the Panthers. They just want to stall this. 20 seconds till overtime. Dunwich is going to look for the Earthshatter. Doesn't get much of anything. Nova does fall first, though. Jeff Woods trying to keep Transcendence alive around with Arkham Knight's beat, and it is keeping them alive. It is going to
Do you guys layer support ults? I think you did.
possibly force overtime. Monk might fall in the support duel to Mr. McDouble, but just kidding. That's a Zenyatta, the most deadly of the supports. And with Andrew falling as well, it took to overtime, Dell. But once
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk
Get
about
the team wipe they need. So hopefully the Graviton is extra.
Like again, you're not really doing anything. Make sure you're scouting, but like you can scout if you're above them, right? You can look through the window over there. It's a terrible arrow. What am I doing? You can look through that arrow. You can window. You can look through this window. To scout them where they're going anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And your guns aren't really doing anything from this distance, right?
Extra thick from the memory.
Yeah, and Eclipse, though, has a chance to use a counter Graviton. There's going to be the one from with memory. The bomb from Haru's going to come in. Nova's going to fall. Eclipse falls. The Diva Bomb does not get anything, but still 2 members have fallen.
What are you shooting? Okay, like, good that you're on top of it, like you're in it, like I like it, you're on top of it. You need to do that more, again, but like, whatever. But this is good. This is good that you're on top of the grab, you're shooting it. But I think you like just spammed your mouse around. I don't know what you were doing.
Does not get anything, but still 2 members have fallen.
You're just like shaking your mouse around. That's what I was referring to.
Andrew is going to get demeched and maybe taken down. Mr. McDouble falls, so they are still pushing through. The ultimate gave them zone control, Dell, and they took it to key usage here, getting 1 tick, getting the second, and getting close to the third. They're trying to get there quickly, but Eclipse going to charge in as Hamster to get something, gets pushed off point. Contest comes in from Andrew right towards the from Andrew. Gets zone control, does actually take out Spaghetti. That is.
Oh my god, they're not going to win this. Fuck. Okay. Alright, let's go back over it.
Available and Diva.
Are you bombing to remake there? I have to go back further.
From Andrew right towards the end of that, keeping the very last tick available, and Diva Bomb's gonna come through from Andrew. Get zone control, does actually take out Spaghetti. That is big, but the ult was already used, and now Jeff Wood.
What are you shooting? Okay, so you're shooting Ryan. Okay, tell your Zen to Discord people before he goes into trance. But you're discorded, you're shooting Rhine. Your Brig's hitting their Brig or Diva, and your Lucio's also shooting Diva, I think.
Now Jeff Woods and Mr. McDouble.
Yeah, okay. So you need to be shooting these guys sooner, because that's what your team is shooting. Or your team needs to shoot what you're shooting, like, but just focus fire shit there.
Using both those support ultimates, just trying to force the Green Knights from stopping them from finishing this map. Haru going to use the bomb as is almost demeched. Not going to get anything but space.
You are
that
so
is
lucky. You are so lucky, Andrew. You need to be the one to take those bombs. Like someone needs to stay on point, and you guys are lucky, because I'm pretty sure they got off point too, or something stupid.
To use the bomb as is almost demeched.
Who's contesting? Oh, Brig is. Okay, Brig put her shield up. Okay. But like, that was close, and it looked like you guys were about to fucking C9 it. So you need to make sure that you're the one eating that bomb if you need to.
Not gonna get anything but space. That is the sliver of
You
tick
need
there
to
left
be
on point B,
demeched.
but
If
it's
you're in
not
mech, then
gonna
it's important to
matter because the rest
Yeah.
of the Green Knights are falling.
Can't believe you guys
This
fucking win
time,
this
the
unless you
spawn
C9.
advantage was too
C9
much,
it?
Dell.
I don't want to watch another 100-minute rush.
Apparently, 99.8% not only is not good
That's
enough for my
unlucky.
professor to round up my grade, but
Can't
also
believe you guys fucking won that.
not good enough
At that
training data. So
Green Knights, though, Haru is on
Okay.
require a cap from the Panthers.
exactly, and so this is one of those things where it might not look just as well smooth or normal as you would see typically, but it is one of those things that the match is still very much in anyone's hands.
Yes,
the May might
non-goats
be the
gameplay.
success tool that we need to see the Green Panthers get their first map win and fight back into the series.
Yeah, and with the Panthers putting Mr. McDouble onto that Widowmaker instead of the Brigitte that has been the choice all series so far. We'll have to see what the changes bring. This is already a better start to the defense as Nova gets taken down to start, and Eclipse is forced to back up. Not going to be a 1v6
Haru.
hero in
Come on, man. You're better
this
than that.
fight. Mr.
There you
McDouble
go.
did switch over to that Brigitte, is going to fall with Jeff Woods, and already, Dell, as I said, a better start for the Green Knights.
The classic,
pretty
bro,
sure
I'm gonna go
Haru's,
widow and get some picks
top
did not
500,
happen there for Mr. McDouble, and
flex
ultimately led his
support.
team to start at a disadvantage.
So.
And that could be all the Green Knights need here to get established in this
So, like,
fight.
that's why I said
We are going to see a lot of ult
should be
charge
better than
on
that.
the
He's
defense,
better
and that's
than
going to be a big decider here. Hopefully, Dunless can show up in the same way Nova has
He's
before,
flex support.
with a big Earth Shatter to win that first.
Yeah,
He
and they're
doesn't
going to
play
look
flex
for it.
support
Monk
for this team, I don't know why.
90% on the charge with memory, 95. Dunless is getting there at 80.
Okay, good, but I don't know why your Ryan's there, right? So, yeah, Andrew, you should be trying to bait out this wall because you're Diva, and that's good. But your Ryan shouldn't be there trying to bait it out also, because if you both get stuck, then that's a problem.
We'll have to see what they can do. Haru's just waiting in the wings, trying to be a nuisance on this May while they charge up ults. 3 ults now available for the Green Knights to 1, almost 2 for the Panthers. This is situations we haven't seen the Green Knights in much this series, and they're just
Riveting
holding right now,
gameplay.
but allowing the Panthers to charge up ults. But Eclipse gets taken down in a second. Monk with a huge pickoff there, and that was go for the Green Knights. The Graviton is going to come through, but it's not really going to get anything because a
But then
great
they
transcendence
overcommit
from
on the
Jeff
yeah.
Woods, and Nova
Again,
answers back in a
they just
huge
overcommit.
way
Yeah.
with that Earth Shatter. Dunless is going
Where's
to
that
fall.
bomb going? Why did you bomb here, Andrew?
It's going to
You're in
come through, but
Grav.
it's not really going to get anything because a great transcendence from Jeff Woods.
So, okay, well, first of all, you're DMing nothing.
Woods, and Nova answers back in a huge way with
Right? You guys are up 2, and that's also 2 ults, and you're bombing during a transcendence. So the most you can get is 3 kills, but May has wall and ice block, and Lucio shouldn't die, but he's died several times to your bombs. Don't know why. And I wasn't looking to see if Sorry had personal.
with that Earth Shatter.
But the
Dunless
bomb
is
is
going
overkill. You guys are up 2, and they've already used trance. There's no way they win off trance, right? And you have Grav. And you have Grav. Right? This goes back to one of the problems that we were having, like in our scrims, right? Where you would bomb without looking to see if we had Grav, or you would use it liberally as whatever. So again, go back, start looking to see if you have Grav again. It's not just for our team, it's for any team you play for. Like, I know this team isn't as good, but it's still important that you look to try to combo things.
going to fall. Monks.
Or if you're not gonna combo, like, at least make sure it's useful. Like, you guys are up 2, and your spawns are closer, and you just sort of wasted ult, right?
Transcendence was enough to at least delay, but a
Like, there wasn't
wonderful
really any
Earth
reason to bomb
Shatter
there.
once again from Nova forces them through. They are already on to the point. They have forced the Green Knights back, and it looks like, Dell, the Green Knights have one more.
And a shatter. You know, we did
Right.
not see Dunless use that shatter
Now,
at that point.
you're going
That's
into
something
the
that
last
might
fight
come
with
into question
Beat and
later. But
Grav.
a big Graviton,
could
or a
have
big
had
Mail
Grav
and a
bomb
big
Beat.
shatter can turn this fight. In 3 minutes, it's
Right?
definitely a doable defense here.
You
As
just
it's less
thrown
time
away
that
an
you would
easy
have
win
even
condition. Not easy because they have
3
main
minutes to
legit, but,
go.
like, just
Map number 3, the Green Knights in the O2 hole. The stage is set. Can the comeback begin? May's going to already try and disrupt. The Graviton's going to come through, though. Catch 3. Nova falls in the beginning, though. Spaghetti is
how did Lucio get caught on that? That's interesting.
going to fall, and Arkham falls. So this is Green Knights' number advantage as Mr. McDouble
I don't know. Like, you guys should have just gone in for a dry fight here. I don't know. Like, do you guys track ults?
Double gets taken down by Lib Memory. Andrew is forced to just back up as with the supports down. The Panthers don't want to take the fight.
They don't want to take the fight, but you notice that Eclipse got away with some charge, I believe, on Zarya, which is going to be very, very good. Having a high charge Zarya allows you to burn that shield a lot
So you
faster
checked
than
once
normal.
to see if the Mei
So
was up there. Are you gonna check again?
even though that fight did not go the right way, they did get a little bit of a resource here. But the ultimates in the form of Earthshatter is going to be available for both sides, but there is a rally and a Graviton in the favor of the Green Knights.
Yeah, and with Monk almost at that Transcendence as well, the Green Knights might have advantage here. Haru once again just trying to be a nuisance up at top. Monk is getting very, very close. Only
Right. If you guys, okay, if
2
you guys
ults
see that they're
possibly
doing this,
facing
just
them here
rotate
from
top.
the Panthers. If the Panthers decide to
Rotate top.
readjust, try to come from above and maybe look for a drop down
they-
here. Andrew's going to come around 66%.
Did they think he went
Not
under?
quite at
Oh
the
my
Diva
God,
Bomb
okay.
yet. They're just going to try
No,
and rain
take high
damage. They're
ground
going to
and then push
drop
them
down
off,
in.
yeah.
The
If a team, if you're playing Goats v Goats, this is for anyone watching, and a team is just holding point, take the high ground. Take this high ground, take that high ground, whatever. It's important. Forces them off of the high ground, so it gives them no high ground advantage, so Mei can't do anything stupid shit up here. If you have an Ana, it'll put her in a good position, up here or over here. Same with Zen. Yeah, it just gives you positional advantage and just it's just better. Like, teams shouldn't
The Maywall
start on
not going to
point.
be a huge separator, and Nova getting a 2-man Earthshatter, but it's not enough with the Transcendence coming through. The Graviton Surge just maybe trying to force them back. The charge from Nova not
You hate the Chargers is good.
getting anything. Both rallies used as well. The fight's just going to continue on to point. No casualties yet. Nova and Dunless fall at almost the exact same time.
Where are
Andrew
you, Andrew?
does not get
You just
anything with
bombed.
that.
Where did you bomb from and why did you bomb? You're at full health.
No casualties yet. Nova
Okay, you're bombing for the grav, I think. I can't see, but I think both your bomb and grav are going off, so I'm assuming you're comboing them.
and Dunless fall at
Looks like it.
almost the exact same time. Andrew
Kind of, but you you put it up here. Stop being so fancy with your bombs. Like, this map has gone on way longer than it should have. Right? Just put it in. You know how to slide them along the ground. You know the distance. There's no ledges. This isn't Dorado. You're not gonna get them stuck on anything, right? Stop trying to go for fancy bombs.
does not get anything with that ult as Haru's
I mean,
going
it's
to use
fine,
the
but, like,
Blizzard
it's
on point, just
like,
force
it's
them
made this
back.
game way
Eclipse
closer than it needs
falls.
to be.
Mr. McDouble gets knocked back into the Blizzard and
If you
goes
guys end up
down.
losing
And with a
Hanamura, I'm
minute
not
and a
watching
half,
the map.
Dell,
I'm
the
not
Green
reviewing the
Knights
next map.
are still in very strong position.
Because you guys
Very
should not
strong
lose this.
position indeed. You know, this
And
May
I
has
feel
just been the
I have other reviews to do.
the opener that has gotten them footing in this series. You know, we're not seeing the clean execution. A lot of big plays being made from Haru there, as well as Lib Memory.
And with a minute to go, Dell, only one ult.
Oh, and they realize they have to rotate up top. Okay, awesome. So, a little mind game thing. See if I can get a frame where we're looking at it. So, a little mind game thing that people can do. You go up the stairs, and then from stairs, you can see through the window and stuff if they're on point. You can see if they're on point through the main, and from window, you can see if they're up high ground, right? So if you go up the stairs and they're not on point, they were playing there before, and you see them try to rotate up high ground, just fucking go down main, right? It's just a little mind game thing. If they're staying on main, just keep going, take high ground from them. But if they're rotating up main, just go main. If they're rotating high ground, just go main, force point. Right?
And with a minute to go, Dell, only one ult available right now for the Green Knights, but they can charge those two up very quickly. Haru might get taken down here. Doesn't take a lot of damage, but Eclipse is the first casualty. Mr. A with only 45 seconds. If Nova gets staggered here, Arkham forced to run advantage for the Green Knights.
One fight for all the marbles and potentially a traversal to a new map. And as we head later into the series, there is a lot less goats favored map. So this could be all the Green Knights need. We are going to see Haru look for that wall. With 22 seconds remaining, this wall could be absolutely.
Yeah, and the Panthers may be learning though, knowing Haru's there, trying to find
No.
a different
Why?
route. But the wall
No.
might come through.
Don't
It
go down
is.
there.
It separates Andrew and Nova from the rest of the team. The Graviton also keeps 3 members there, but they're not quite able to get a whole lot of damage because of a good, just defensive play there from the Panthers. Dunless is the first casualty. Monk trying to.
Okay, let's talk about this position, because I don't think people understand how bad it is, right? So you're putting yourself into the smallest, like a tiny choke point. Like it's not like main, it's tiny. Even above is slightly bigger than this one, right? So yes, you have a mega. Yes, you have some more cover. But as soon as you come out this tiny choke point, you're sitting in a pit of death. This is a pit of death. This is a kill box. This is a kill zone. It's a choke, whatever you want to call it. I mean, they're different, but yeah, right? This is a pit of death. Do not fight here, right? Because then they have a mini here. They have high ground advantage on you. You've given them high ground for no reason, basically. Um, they have more cover, so they can sit on this pillar if they want and still shoot you. They can rotate over to the bridge and shoot you, right? So you're allowing them to basically encircle you while giving them high ground advantage, while putting yourself through a choke and into a tiny little kill box, right? And then you need to go up these stairs, which isn't like a straight path, it's a fucking L. So you go up the L, you take an L. That's, yeah, don't
Trying to
put
get
yourself in
there
this
with the
position.
Transcendence to keep the team alive. Andrew is going to fall. Jeff Woods counters
You guys
with
aren't gonna touch.
the Transcendence
Oh
zone,
shit, you
just
do.
barely able to get the Panthers onto the point as overtime ticked over. Blizzard's
I'm
going to
not
go
watching the
down.
next map.
It is going to get Jeff Woods and Arkham Knight. Mr. McDouble and Eclipse fall at almost the same time. And with
Like, I can't even really like, give you anything to do down here. Just like, don't go down there. Just don't. Unless like you have very specific reason to go down there, like extremely specific. I can't even think of an example. But like, do not put your team down there. Especially against like a May Goats Cup, like, no, gross.
with only Nova there to try and get onto the point, the charge not getting anything. Dunless just shattering the hopes of.
Okay, so I'm not doing the next one because I have other shit I need to do. Um, but scouting, right? Don't don't play with your food. This goes for your whole team. Like you're trying to be like showboaty and flashy, but you've let them win a map for no reason. Like you guys could have taken this map easy, and you've made other maps. Like you made a lot of the fights more difficult than they had to be. So for Andrew, you specifically scouting, a little bit of focus fire, your flashy bombs. If they're gonna be flashy, it better be a set spot that you know and you've practiced, rather than just like you trying to like think of a flashy spot on the spot. Um, so yeah, don't be so flashy with your bombs unless it's a set spot. Um, what else did we talk about? We talked about chasing divas a little bit on Nepal. So don't chase that diva. You can go back to that section if you want, but don't chase the diva. Because then you're trading resources that you don't need to trade for no reason. Attention is a resource, don't forget that. On Hammond, again, using your shields too early. And don't play like a front. If you guys have like a Rhine and a proper front line and stuff, don't try to play like a weird front line hamster thing. Um, you'll have much more. You'll be much more effective if you're playing the backline more of a disruptor, and trying to trade resources and attention basically. Um, Zarya, be more aggressive when you can, but also knowing your limits. So if they can punish you with a Mei or something, and being demanding of your team to like, hey guys, I need to play up a little bit more to get more spam so I can, like in between fights. I'm talking about in between fights. So tell your team that you want to play more aggressively in between fights so you can get speed or you can get a shield, whatever you need. to get a little bit of extra spam to help you build your gaps faster. Um, and that doesn't really matter in like these games because these aren't these are not these are too close. They shouldn't be this close, and you don't really need to do that in these sorts of games because they're not as high level. But it is something that you need to do more. So go watch like higher level Zarya's. Even Godbun like does it more. So if you want to watch him play Zarya in our scrims, or if you want to go watch like some higher level goats play. Also bubble usage. Also don't be so greedy with them. Use them a little more passively, especially in goats v goats, or if especially if they have like a Mei. If it's like a Mei goats. Stop using your bomb. We kind of fix this, but you kind of regressed in these maps to like using your bomb in a solo queue style to look for plays as a like solo queue plays where you're just gonna throw it up and try to find something. I don't know, maybe that's because you just found a bunch of kills. Like you kept getting like multiple kills on bombs early on in earlier maps. I don't know if that was just because of that, but you need to look to combo them a little bit more. And like your positioning when you're coming out of bomb, like Route 66, we talked about like landing on the high ground. Yeah, that's it for a summary. There's other stuff I talked about, but you can go back and go over it. Yeah, hopefully this was kind of helpful. It's kind of hard because not your POV, and I have to like, it's not even like my POV. I don't even get like a full overhead view of it, and it's just spectators and commentators. So hopefully there's some stuff in here, and hopefully I wasn't being too nitpicky, but yeah, hopefully this helps.